Or red light. Or green light. Red light.
Red
light.
Why she got such long hair?
I don't know.
Nope, it still has to be moving. You're gonna die right here.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm dead.
You're Yeah, I was going to say,
anyway.
I'm pretty sure it has to be moving in a rhythm.
I would like to imagine if I ever won the lottery that I would stay humble. Do you think, you knowing me as well as you do you think that I would be humble with my winnings, or do you think I'd go off the deep end and become an asshole and just be like, I owe all this money, fuck everybody?
I'd be really surprised if you did that. I'd be like, what the fuck?
You're like, I don't know this guy at all.
Be like, I thought Nate was cool, but apparently if he gets a whole lot of money, he turns into an asset.
Yeah. It's typically what happens. I mean, my sister has a friend, and now that she is married to a billionaire, well, an heir to a billionaire, he doesn't do anything. He's literally just an heir to I think it's like a $2.3 billion fortune.
Jeebus.
Which after his parents pass away, it'll be like a $1.6 billion fortune, because the U.S. government's going to take about 30% of it, because that's what they do. If you die with a big amount of money and you don't leave a last will and testament, or even if you do leave a last will and testament, the government's going to take around half, or if you're lucky, around 30%, depending on the state you live in. But
hey, government, you ever heard of grave robbing?
Oh, they make a regular industry out of that.
It's like, I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
Yeah, should be, but
Pretty sure
it's
grave
not.
robbing's illegal, government.
They don't care. So, lottery winners, I have met one lottery winner in my life. There was a dude who won a $5 million lottery jackpot, just right there. And I remembered my dad knew him, and we met him in passing one time, and my dad told me, he's like, oh yeah, he won the lottery. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah. He's like, yeah, he won $5 million in the lottery. He's like, I just spent a lot, like, he literally won the lottery. He's like, yeah. And I was just like, damn, that's fucking awesome. And I would imagine myself, like, if I ever did win the lottery, two things I'm doing immediately. The two things I'm doing immediately is I'm paying off all the debts of myself and my immediate family and my friends. And then after that, I guess I'm just going to let it sit in my bank account and collect interest for the rest of my life. Because honestly, there was actually a lottery jackpot here recently that was about $2 billion. It hit $2 billion. It was like $2.2 billion. Now, lottery tax in the state of Virginia is around 35%, which means that you'd have still had in excess of around $1.4 billion at your disposal. Dude, I wouldn't know what to do with $1.4 billion. I'm afraid.
I know what I would probably do.
What's that?
So after, same thing, I'd pay off my debts, my family's debts, my friends' debts, all that stuff. I would buy the car I really want, which is a Supra. And I would put back enough money to pay the insurance on it for however long I think it's going to last for. And because insurance on sports cars is expensive.
Yeah, very.
And I think I would probably become a video game publisher.
That's what you would do?
Yeah, because there's so few good video game publishers left in the world.
This is true.
So many of them are shitty as hell. If I had the money to, like, go talk to developer companies and being like, hey, like, I want to give you guys the money to make a game, and then get to, like, oversee and have some creative input on it and shit, and let them just work magic if they were developers I already trusted, you know?
Like if Kojima.
I would love doing that because then I get to play what they finish.
Dude, imagine you like going to Kojima and be like, "Hey, Hideo."
I don't know if he would take the deal or not because he's just such a creative, like, just he's such an independently creative person, you know.
Fair enough.
But I'm thinking like if I could maybe convince like FromSoft to like let me publish a game for them or something, you know.
Yeah, FromSoft.
And be like, here's what I would like for you to do.
I would say FromSoft or Atlas or I don't know. There's several good video game companies out there that just need a good need a good publisher. But I don't know.
There's a lot of good companies that need to be out from under publishers that they're currently under too. So like using the money to negotiate with other publishers would probably be step one.
Yeah.
You know, like for a starter, like find a publisher that sucks and someone under it that I think would be making gold if they weren't under that fucking publisher.
Yeah.
And try negotiating a deal being like, how much money do you guys want to give me this development company, like, and let me publish their games instead. For example, taking Remedy out from under EA or something.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, that would be. I know for you, like Remedy and just freeing them from that bullshit would be like god tier.
Yeah, it's either that or a hop on board of like, you know, someone who isn't really under a terrible publisher that I think just deserves to have backing to go crazy with, like the dudes that make Alan Wake and Control and stuff, you know.
Oh, that's Remedy.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Not Remedy, then Respawn. Respawn is what.
Oh, Respawn. Okay.
Take Respawn out from under EA is what I originally meant to say.
Okay.
I mixed it up. Yeah, Remedy would be, you know, an alternate thing, you know, like so.
So you would get the publishing rights for Remedy and Respawn, and you'd basically just be
if
like,
EA didn't want all of my money to have Respawn anyway.
Well,
but I mean, like, to be honest, like, if it took most of the money, but there was still enough money left to publish Respawn making a game, I feel like it could possibly pay off and return enough to continue from there, you know?
Probably. I would also say that overall, the whole thing with
Another thing I'd probably do is talk to Konami and be like, how much do you want for the rights to Silent Hill?
And they'll just be like, $15 million done.
Here, take it.
Here, don't ever talk to me again.
Mr. Kojima-san.
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 Would you like
I have
to...
the rights to Silent Hill.
Would you be interested...
Would you like to get Del Toro and...
Norman Reedus and
Ito-san
yeah,
on the phone.
And Junji Ito back to finish this the way you want to. And he would probably just be like, please give me time to think. And he'd come back to be like, yes. So there you go. Also, I forgot to say the second thing that I would do. I immediately would give my mom and my dad $1 million each. Like I'd like write a check right then and there to like also account for taxes as well, and I'd be like $1 million. Here you go, Mom. Here you go, Dad. There you go. Because I feel like that would, to me, pay off like everything that they've done for me and then some. And you know, I would still help them if they need to, but I don't think they would because they're both very frugal and very good with money. So, yeah, that's probably what I would do. Outside of that, I don't know. I would probably talk to Jake and talk to a few other people in this area and try and maybe start maybe a film company. Maybe buy a huge plot of land and turn it into a movie studio place. I don't know. There's a lot of things I'd want to do.
Yeah, I would consider just becoming a publisher because I feel like that's where you actually get the opportunity to have things that you want to happen come to fruition.
Yeah.
Like if you So whenever you like invest in like I know making films is fun and stuff too, but whenever you're making the film yourself for the most part, you're not really going to be able to enjoy it the way that you would something made by someone else.
Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. Like the film
know?
production company, I would set it up to where others in the area would be able to do what they want, and also we bring in other business because you look at what happened to Atlanta. Atlanta blew up when the film industry moved in there, and I feel like if we had something like that, so a place right in the middle of the Tri-Cities, like between all three places, like a huge lot that just was there to film and whatever. I mean, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. My brain just goes along the lines of like trying to find the good filmmakers to throw money at and being like, I'm not going to stifle your creativity, basically, you know, in terms of being a publisher for like films too. Like if I made enough money being a game publisher that I kept getting returns, I'd probably get into film too and try to fix Hollywood a little bit.
Publishing
not fix all of Hollywood, but at least
publishing
add
is just
good
like
stuff coming.
It's just film production. It's just it's like that's basically what I would become. I'd become a film producer / like game producer, and the internet would be my playground. Anyway, Sunny V2 has a thing here where he talks about the dumbest lottery winners of all time. Let's see what kind of mistakes they made.
From accidentally throwing a £3 million lottery ticket in the bin to spending an entire $16 million prize in under 90 days. These are the absolute dumbest lottery winners of all time, beginning with Jose Antonio Quartok, who almost lost his entire lottery fortune after getting someone else to claim the money for him. You see, when Jose won the $750,000 jackpot back in 2010, he was living in the US illegally, so Jose asked his boss to claim the prize on his behalf, as he feared he couldn't claim the money without potentially facing legal trouble and deportation. This worked out perfectly until Jose's boss began to falsely state that he was the one who had actually purchased the ticket. Taking legal action against his boss was risky, given Jose wasn't supposed to be in the country at all. However, given he had security camera footage of him purchasing the ticket, Jose did so and was able to prove that he was the rightful owner to the $750,000 prize. Only $250,000 of this went to taxes, another $250,000 was spent on court fees, and throughout the legal process, Jose was jailed for drunk driving and was deported back to Guatemala as soon as he won the court case. However, at least Jose Antonio Quartok got to keep some of his winnings, as Denise Rossi wasn't so fortunate. When Denise won a jackpot of $1.3 million back in 1996, she'd been married to Thomas Rossi for over 25 years, yet their relationship was apparently lacking in transparency, as Denise didn't tell her husband about the win and instead filed for divorce only 11 days after buying the lucky ticket. I was afraid to tell Thomas because I knew he would try to take the money away from me. I went to the Lottery Commission office and told them I was married but contemplating divorce. They told me to file before I got my first check, which I did. Denise was initially successful in hiding the money from her now ex-husband, as for a whole 2 years after their divorce, Thomas...
How the fuck do you hide the fact that you won the lottery?
I don't fucking know.
How do you hide that? It's like, honey, did you hear about this, like local lottery winners? Like, no, I haven't heard anything about that. Don't mind me, I'm just cashing my $50,000 check over here. Like, how do you hide that? Or is the guy just completely oblivious?
I mean, I don't really keep up with the names of everybody that wins the lottery myself. So
but if someone local won the lottery, you'd hear about it. It'd be all over the news.
Know what their fucking name
People
was.
on Facebook wouldn't stop talking about it. But that's what I'm saying. It's like you would eventually find, like, you'd be curious, wouldn't you? Be like, oh, I wonder who won the lottery. Honey, did you win the lottery?
To be honest, no. I wouldn't be that curious. I really don't care.
If someone local won, I'd be curious. I'd be like, really?
I guess maybe if I ever get married, I better start checking to make sure my wife wasn't the one that won the lottery and was trying to hide it from me. Shit.
Thomas had no idea that Denise had ever won the lottery. However, in May 1999, a letter was sent to Thomas's home address asking if Denise was interested in a lump sum buyout of her lottery winnings. This was the first Thomas knew about the lottery prize. He confirmed that Denise was a winner with the California lottery, and given they were still married at the time of the win, Thomas launched a lawsuit stating that he was entitled to half of the prize money. The judge specifically found that Denise's failure to disclose the lottery winnings constituted fraud, oppression, and malice, and as a result, the trial court awarded Thomas 100% of the lottery winnings, which left Denise with less than nothing, considering she also had to pay for her own legal fees. However,
Whoa, that's a bit much. I mean, honestly, 50% would have been just fine. That way, she could still pay her legal fees. But that's just, oof.
However, Denise's loss of $1.3 million was still nothing in comparison to Evelyn Adams. Dubbed the luckiest woman in America, Evelyn Adams became the first person in human history to win the lottery twice.
What?
Initially for $3.9 million in October 1985, before winning another $1.4 million only 4 months later. With the probability of this win being approximately 1 in 17.3 trillion, Evelyn seemed to realize that she had no lottery luck left by stating that she was going to quit playing and instead began to buy various businesses, including the convenience store where the lucky tickets had been purchased. While you could argue that this was a smart move, Evelyn still hadn't fixed her gambling problem, and instead of buying more lottery tickets, she instead took the rest of her winnings to the Atlantic City casinos, where she lost her entire remaining fortune to the slot machines. Without any money left, her businesses failed one after the other, and by 2012, Evelyn was living in a trailer park, while stating to the media, winning the lottery isn't always what it's cracked up to be. Kelly Rogers likely had a similar outlook, as after winning over £1.8 million at the age of only 16, her life was also ruined. Initially, Kelly stated, "I will not go wild and spend loads. I'm going to take some advice and see an accountant. Hopefully, I will make us more
play the lottery
comfortable. I want to help
younger
my family, but I won't change.
the UK
I just want a
than you
normal
can in
home,
America."
nothing posh.
Apparently
I
so.
just
That's 16?
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous.
Not allowed to buy lottery tickets until you turn 18 in the US.
Yeah.
on a normal car as well. However, as soon as she received the money, Kelly instead spent £11,500 on 2 boob jobs, £300,000 on clothes, makeup and tattoos, as well as £85,000 on top of the range sports cars.
Why? Dude, first car I'm buying, whenever I get that, is a Tesla. I'm buying my Tesla. Probably the Model X. Not sure.
Okay, good.
Or maybe Model 3. I don't know.
I read ahead, and the stupidest thing she spent money on has yet to be stated. Jesus fucking Christ. She spent $250,000 on holidays to locations including Mexico and Euro Disney. Okay, fine. Like, dude, she's gonna remember those trips for the rest of her life. That's a good spend.
$118,000 on gifts to
former
boyfriend.
What? Why? Why? What the fuck? Why? What did those former boyfriends do? Like fucking jizz gold inside of you? What the fucking hell?
Wow. I don't.
Jesus fucking Christ, that does not compute to me at all.
That doesn't me either.
Kelly spent a further £250,000 on holidays to locations including Mexico and Euro Disney, £118,000 on gifts to...
Oh, before people start talking shit, it's like, you really buy a Tesla? God, that's such an expensive car. No, the Model 3, if you actually get the mid-range model, it's about $40,000. That's about a decent... That's decent for a like regular sedan.
Dude, I got 3 ex-girlfriends I'm cool with, and the most I'd probably fucking spend on them was like $70 for a birthday present if I won the lottery.
That's your prerogative.
It's like, that's your fault fucking it up if you want more.
£190,000 in unreturned loans to friends and family members, and £50,500 on solicitors' fees, all of which being purchased while she was still in high school. Kelly did make a few smart purchases, such as an £180,000 bungalow and a £96,000 home for her mum. However, by the end of the year, Kelly was back to square one, being on welfare with only £2,000 left in her account. She since stated it was too much money for someone so young. Even if you say your life won't change, it does, and often not for the better.
Yeah, I just wish I was a bit older at the time of winning it, because I think at 16 you're still just a child, and overnight you've just got to grow up and become an adult.
Which is probably why she's now an advocate for raising the UK's legal gambling age from 16 to 18. Kelly Rogers certainly spent her money poorly. However, at least she had the chance to spend it, as 25-year-old Amanda Clayton from Detroit was no longer alive by the end of her spending spree. When Amanda won the $1 million jackpot back in 2011, it seemed as though her life had been changed overnight. However, her win quickly became controversial after the media learned that she was still collecting food stamps and benefit payments despite having won the lottery.
Wait,
Detroit woman is now the second lotto winner in the state to keep taking food stamps after hitting it big.
I have a feeling since she lives in Detroit, this is going to get real dark.
Also, what he said, I want to make sure I heard that right.
Benefit payments despite having won the lottery.
Detroit woman is now the second lotto winner in the state to keep taking food stamps after hitting it big.
The second. Meaning that there was one before. Jesus Christ, dude. Some people are dirtbags. Like, look, if you hit $1 million, there's no need for you to keep taking food stamps.
No.
That needs to go to people who need it. Not you. Bunch of ingrates, man.
And Amanda Clayton, who won $1 million and took home a $700,000 lump sum. The 24-year-old says even though she now owns 2 homes, she figured she was still allowed to use a bridge card.
After being confronted about the behavior, Amanda had the following to say.
I thought that they would cut me off, but since they didn't, I thought maybe it was okay because I'm not working.
And shortly thereafter, she was charged with 2 felony counts of welfare fraud and was ordered to pay back the $5,500 worth of food stamps she'd received. While Amanda quickly paid the $5,500 back, she never got the chance to spend the rest of the money, as only 6 months later she would unfortunately overdose in one of her 2 homes.
He said she was... Opioids, I bet. Opioids, I bet $1,000 it was opioids.
Most likely.
What they have done to this country and people, it just... What they did to my fucking grandmother. Never forgive y'all. I will never forgive the fucking Sackler family. Y'all are pieces of shit. Burn in hell.
Was tormented by the fame and the problems that came with winning the lottery.
What's the point of having money if you're not going to have happiness?
He says she didn't want the money anymore and bought things for her family and set up college funds for her children. He says she only had $67,000 of her winnings left.
The end to Amanda Clayton's story was somewhat unexpected. However, a 2-second glance at Ryan McGee is more than enough to predict that this lottery win would eventually end in disaster.
I'm sorry, that man has a dirt face of, like, epic proportions. It's like, I would not be surprised if this man is a product of inbreeding.
After winning £6.4 million back in 2008 at the age of 27, Ryan was placed on the Sunday Times Top 100 Rich list for young people. He purchased a luxury mansion in his home country of Ireland, which featured 5 bedrooms, an indoor swimming pool, a full champagne bar, and a 2-car garage where he kept his brand new Ferrari 458 Italia. However, as you might expect, this is where things began to go terrible.
Don't buy a Ferrari, bro. Buy a Lambo. I'm joking. I don't know. I'm not gonna buy a Lamborghini or a fucking Ferrari if I get that big of money. Don't buy it. Hey, to quote one of my favorite sports agents of all times, if you drive it, if you fly it, if it floats, or if it fucks, lease it. Don't buy it.
Terribly. Only 3 years after buying the Ferrari, Ryan slipped off the road, crashing the car into a field, mainly because he was driving in the snow. Locals were amazed Ryan was driving the Ferrari in that weather, especially when he had a more suitable Range Rover he could use. The Ferrari was not understood to be running on winter tires, which, while costing around £4,400, hugely boost grip and handling in icy conditions. Ryan's property development business then dissolved, which was accompanied by a divorce from his wife and the sale of his luxury home. Then, 2 years later, Ryan McGee was pulled over driving an uninsured Ford Focus without a license. However, the most interesting part is that he had to claim legal aid, which is a service for those who are unable to afford a lawyer. Now, Ryan McGee was a complete idiot with his money. However, he still looks like Albert Einstein when compared to Martin Tott. When Martin and his wife Kay won £3 million back in 2001, they didn't go in to claim the prize because, well, they had no idea that they were winners. They'd purchased a ticket in passing, completely forgotten about it, and would only come to realize that they were the winners after hearing about the unclaimed prize over 6 months later. The main problem was that at some point, the ticket had been misplaced or thrown out completely. Despite frantically searching, the pair couldn't find their ticket, but were sure they had won because the jackpot numbers matched the ones they used every week. Computer records in their local Londis proved Kay really had purchased the ticket, and the thrilled pair rushed to tell lottery organizer Camelot to claim their prize. But they fell victim to a little-known rule, stating lost tickets must be reported within 30 days. After 45 days of deliberation, Camelot told the devastated couple that they would not be collecting the jackpot, and as a result, the couple's marriage eventually came to an end.
Damn.
We'd only known each other for 2 years, and the lottery ordeal quickly highlighted our differences. All we did was bicker. Sadly, both of us agreed we should split, and Kay moved out. Martin seems to have convinced
Can
himself
tell in
that
every
losing the
picture
ticket-
of her that they've shown so far, she looks fucking pissed. She's just like, I can't believe I married this dude that would lose a fucking lottery winning ticket.
Yeah, that's definitely, yeah. And he's like, derp. And she's like, I am married to a fucking moron.
So the couple's marriage eventually came differences. Seems to have convinced himself that losing the ticket ended up being a good thing, having stated, for a long time I lost sight of who I was and what I believed in. But I can honestly say I'm glad I didn't get the $3 million now. There is no guarantee it would have brought me happiness, and if there's anyone else who would have agreed with this statement, it definitely would have been the most miserable lottery winner of all time, William Post. When William won a $16.2 million jackpot back in 1988, he had just $2.46 in his bank account and was able to purchase the lucky ticket by selling a ring for $40 to a local pawn shop. This, in conjunction with the time he'd spent in jail for cashing invalid checks, highlighted William Post's awful money management skills and acted as foreshadowing for how poorly his lottery win was eventually going to be spent.
Oh, no.
Only 84 days after receiving the $16.2 million, William Post had spent the entire fortune on a boat, a lease for a restaurant in Florida, a used car lot, as well as a private jet. However, even after all of the money...
Private jet. As much as I want a private jet, that's not a good buy.
If you drive it, if you fly it, if it floats, or if it fucks, lease it, don't buy it.
So explain the last one there.
Women, don't get married. That's what they're saying.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were pro-marriage.
I am, but when it comes to money, most of the women you're going to run into aren't interested in you. They're interested in your money. That's most people. Hell, it's not just women. Like, I guarantee I'll get calls from like a bunch of dudes who just be like, "So Nate, we went to school together back when community college, and I thought we really hit it off. So, do you want to go out sometime?" Like, no, I'm not gay. It's like, are you sure? It's like, yeah, pretty sure. It'll happen, dude. I guarantee you, like, I'll have friends call me up who are just like, "Yeah, man, you remember when I hid that one time I hid the weed from your parents? You really owe me for that one, man, because that would really fuck your life up. So, how's about $10,000 sound?" It's like, no. 8,000, no. 5,000, I'm hanging up. 1,000. $500 and a Sam's card for 1 year. You got a deal. Like, there you go. That's what it'll be.
Had been spent, Post took on a further $500,000 loan to purchase a mansion in Oil City, Pennsylvania. The problem was that William hadn't actually purchased the original ticket himself and had rather given the money to his girlfriend who had bought the winning ticket for him. Because of this, she was able to successfully sue him for 1/3 of the winnings, meaning that Post now owed $5.4 million to his ex-girlfriend from the $16.2 million that he no longer had. Since Post was unable to make this payment, the judge ordered that his bank account be frozen until he was able to come up with the money. However, before he was able to sell enough stuff to pay the $5.4 million, William was arrested and ordered to serve a 6 to 24 month prison term for an assault charge from 6 years prior. Toward the end of his life, Post was on his 7th marriage with over $1 million in debt and was getting by on food stamps at a job paying $450 per month. However, William Post still doesn't have the craziest lottery win story of all time. That title goes to Andrew Jackson Whitaker, whose life would change forever after winning $315 million back in 2002. Unlike almost everyone else in
Okay, lottery tax in most places 40%. That's still well over like $170 million. Like that's $180 million, almost $200 million. Damn.
In this video, Whitaker was actually quite successful prior to winning the lottery, having built up a net worth of over $17 million with the assistance of his construction company. And while this would imply that he was in a position to manage a large lottery win, this isn't what would happen. Whitaker instantly donated 10% of the winnings to churches, Christian groups, and spent a further $14 million establishing the Jack Whitaker Foundation, which provided free food and clothing for low-income families in West Virginia.
Obviously, you're doing God's work with all this money.
Yes, I am. I'm helping a lot of people, and I plan to help a lot more.
He then drove back to the convenience store where he had purchased the ticket before giving the clerk a $44,000 check, a $123,000 house, and a brand new Jeep Cherokee, which was followed by Whitaker buying himself a Lamborghini, in which he'd drive around his neighborhood throwing money out of the window. After flaunting this wealth, his Lamborghini was broken into, where thieves stole $545,000 in cash. However, this apparently wasn't much of a wake-up call, as his car was then broken into for the second time, resulting in the loss of a further $200,000 cash. Jack Whitaker's granddaughter passed away, his daughter then passed away, which was followed by a divorce with his wife.
And now you've lost your granddaughter, you're about to be divorced from your wife. Where does this ever end?
Leading him to state that he had lost everything.
I pretty much lost everything I held dear in my life.
You got lots of money.
Money has never meant anything to me. You have to have money to exist in this world, but money doesn't rule the world. Money is not what makes people happy.
And that he wished he had never purchased the lottery ticket in the first place.
My wife had said she wished that she'd torn the ticket up. Well, I wish that we had torn the ticket up too. I just don't like what I've become.
Doesn't even sound like he became that bad with it either. He's just unlucky as shit.
Well, I mean,
throwing money out of your window and enticing people to break into your Lambo is probably not the best idea, but that was really the stupidest thing they said that he did.
Yeah. My whole deal with him doing that's very altruistic, the stuff that he was doing. But I would say the biggest problem is that just, you know, bad luck getting shit broken into, and then also not only that, but also the deaths of his daughter and granddaughter. That's got to be just like completely just gut wrenching.
Yeah.
Because, you know, two of the most important people in your life just gone, and then on top of that, your wife wants a divorce. Just jeez. And I guarantee you he'd probably give up all that money right now, what he has left, just to see his daughter and granddaughter again. I guarantee you. God, dude. That's just heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was the dumbest lottery winners of all time. Some unlucky ones, too. And if y'all want to see more from Sunny V2, feel free to click his name in the title of the video. And until next time, everybody, I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
Save your money, guys. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.